Hello, welcome to No Sevens Nice Club College Football Edition. I'm trying to do a craps video for you guys. Pretty much have the craps table all laid out. I had a few things where I'm still waiting on Amazon to send me some of the parts, but it's ready to go. The problem is Mother Nature is not cooperating because I don't have a garage right now. The craps table is still outside, covered up in tarps. So hopefully I can get the craps video out to you guys whenever it finally decides to stop raining. One of the good things about Southeast Louisiana is pretty much like a rainforest down here. But welcome guys to week 13, November 28th. This is Thanksgiving week. I hope you and your family have a great Thanksgiving. Whether you're social distancing, whatever you're doing. Some people said are doing Zoom Thanksgivings, whatever it may be. I hope you guys have a blessed and very enjoyable Thanksgiving. Last week we went 2-2. Did pretty good. I won both of the email picks, so it made me feel pretty good that I picked the right winners. Ohio State and Indiana. That was a really close game. I think Indiana gave it away a few times. They could have won that game. Very good game though. I really enjoyed that one. And then the game I really enjoyed, like I told you, it was Liberty at North Carolina State. If you guys tuned into that game like I asked you to, you watched a very good football game. And just like I predicted, whoever had the ball at the beginning of the fourth quarter was going to win that game. And it was North Carolina State. Liberty had a chance to win that game at the, I think it was like 2 minutes left of the fourth quarter. Tried to kick in the field goal, did not work, fell short. But it was a very hard game, very hard fought game by Liberty. Only losing by a point. My hat's off to Hugh Freeze and everybody else. And I don't know if game day people are watching my show, but if you notice, I did a huge segment about Hugh Freeze, South Carolina, and everything he's been through. And now College Game Day, that Saturday, the previous Saturday, went ahead and talked to everything I was saying about Hugh Freeze. So I think it was kind of interesting that I was a little bit ahead of ESPN on that one. But anyway, that's my 3-minute wrap up. Hopefully you guys are still with me. Let's focus in on week 13 and go from there. We did have one game last week that was not played due to COVID. But we did lose to Kansas State. Just got blown out the water. I mean, I think I'm done with Kansas State for the rest of the year. And but anyway, so let's focus in on week 13. The first game up is LSU at Texas A&M. The reason why I'm shooting this film on Wednesday instead of Monday or Tuesday is because I want to see what the playoff committee had in store. And so if you know what the playoff committee has, Texas A&M is ranked 5th right now. Florida is ranked 6th, Ohio State's 4, Clemson 3, Notre Dame 2, and Alabama number 1. So where I'm going with this is that Texas A&M needs style points, and they need to play their best ball so that way they can have a lot of the eye candy is what the college football playoff committee is looking for right now, is eye candy on the rest of these games. And with that being said, Texas A&M 2 years ago won that game at College Station against LSU. It was 7 overtimes. It was so bad that they were literally carting people off at the end of the 7th overtime because people were so dehydrated. It made the college NCAA change the rules on how overtime is played because of that game. In my opinion, and I'm not trying to be biased or any way, but LSU won that game. If you go back and you watch that, LSU won that game flat out. You know, and it might anger some Texas A&M fans. Hey, whatever you want to do. But LSU won that game. There was a lot of questionable calls that went Texas A&M's way and didn't go to LSU's way, but that was 2 years ago. Last year, Texas A&M came in to LSU. LSU just demolished them. I think the score was 58-7, 58-10. Jimbo Fisher said it best at the end of that game. The coach for Texas A&M said, "We got our ass handed to us." I mean, we just got our ass kicked everywhere. So now that LSU is going into Texas A&M, and LSU is not the LSU team of the past. They're in a serious rebuild mode. They have so many freshmen starting for them right now. Texas A&M wants revenge. Texas A&M wants eye candy. Texas A&M is just going to manhandle LSU all over the place. I expect this game to be more like the LSU at Auburn game, where the score was 48-3, I think it was, or 48-7. It was something ludicrous, insane. That's how off balance I expect. Miles Brennan, the starting quarterback for LSU, is out for the rest of the season. He's got some kind of injury to his stomach or rib or something. Anyway, he's out for the season. TJ Finley, a true freshman, is starting. He's a great quarterback for LSU, but he's not progressed enough to where he needs to start leading this offense to where he needs to go. And I think he's going to struggle. Jimbo Fisher is going to put together a really good package for this game. And I just expect Texas A&M to roll with this. They're only minus 13.5. I expect by Saturday this might be minus 17, minus 18. And I'll still take Texas A&M on this one. In fact, I think this is going to probably be a good money pick. I know LSU and Texas A&M always play each other very close. But like I said, LSU is just really depleted this year. And I think they've already started looking for the offseason to kind of regroup, start coaching up the players, get everything going, and just want to throw 2020 away. And I'm an LSU fan. I mean, a diehard LSU fan, and I mean, I don't see them winning this game at all, especially with Texas A&M needing eye candy and style points and everything else. I think Texas A&M is just going to steamroll this team, and I think it's going to be in the upper 40s, maybe in the 50s, probably even in the 60s, and LSU probably be around 14 points, and that'll be about it. So I'm not scared at all. I'll go ahead and take Texas A&M to win this game big. And let's go ahead and put that down. Texas A&M minus 13.5. All right. The next few games, these are all usually pretty much classic, your end of November games, your in-state rival games. So the next one we have up is Mississippi State at Ole Miss. This is known as the Egg Bowl. This is going to be a very interesting game because neither one of them sport any kind of defense. Mississippi State, with Mike Leach, has that like Steve Spurrier has that fun and gun offense. He just air raids the ball is what his offense is known for, is the air raid. And Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin, he has no defense also, and all the offensive firepower he wants on his team too. I'm not going to really dissect this game at all. The over and the under right now is at 66.5. I definitely see this being an over big time. I expect about anywhere from 70 to 80 points combined to be scored in this game. Like I said, there's really nothing really to dissect at all right now. In this game, I expect them to just air raid it out. Both teams just going back and forth, just exchanging blows. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to take the over on this one at 66.5. Now, if this game does go over 70, I wouldn't pick this game. I'll kind of stay away from it. But at 66.5, this is kind of like pushing the line. And this will be about as far as I want to go with this this over for Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Even though I think it could climb in 70 and 80 points combined, the over, I feel pretty comfortable at 66.5. All right, next up we have Alabama at Auburn. This is known as the Iron Bowl. And if you watched any of the Alabama and Auburn games in the past, they have been classic games. I mean, they have been some of the best. You have the kick six. What was that, in 2013, I think, guys? Last year's game, it came down to a very questionable play call at the end to keep Alabama from winning that game. So there's a lot of heated rival. This is a very heated rival game between the two football teams. They really do not like each other. And if you ever go to Alabama and you ever see an Alabama person wearing Alabama stuff, and you go, man, what do you think about those Auburn Tigers? Man, the looks that they will give you would be enough to murder you. I mean, they do not like each other. And then if you see an Auburn fan, you go, man, go Roll Tide. And they're about ready to kill you too. I mean, these fans do not like each other at all, and there's the same amount of chemistry on the football field. These football players do not like each other at all. It's pretty bad blood. Normally these games are very evenly matched. I expect a very close game in this, but Mac Jones is playing lights out football. He's one of the nominees for the Heisman coming up. Just like anybody else, Alabama's ranked #1 right now. They need style points, and they want to keep that #1 position with the college football rankings. So I imagine that they're going to play a very disciplined, hard-fought game in this. They're going to play for style points. They're going to play for that eye candy. And I expect them to do pretty well with it. I think they're going to play this game. I think Auburn's going to keep it kind of close, and because Alabama's defense right now is a little questionable. They did win against Kentucky. I mean, they just blew the doors off of Kentucky. It was 63-3, I think it was the final score. And I don't see that score being with Alabama and Auburn. I kind of see this score right now. I kind of see this score right now kind of being around 40-20, maybe about mid-40s, maybe 30s. It's going to be a very close game, because Auburn can score too. But I think Alabama's just going to overmatch them in the end, and they're going to play a dominating football. But I do like the over in this. The over is at 60.5. I wouldn't go any higher than the over on this. If the over creeps up to 62, 63, I wouldn't pick this game. I'll stay away from it and pick either Alabama or Auburn to win the game if you're going to pick this. But I do like the over at 60.5. I think that's a great pick. Both teams can easily score in the 30s, and I do think that will be covered. I mean, Alabama last week itself covered this the over by itself at 63 points. I think Alabama is just going to be too much for Auburn. Auburn's going to have to keep on playing catch up and match them score for score. Is how I'm looking at this game. So we're going to take the over on this, over at 60.5. All right, next one is Pitt at Clemson. If you followed last week, Clemson was not happy about Florida State canceling that game. I think it was an hour before the game, or it was 2 hours before the game because of COVID questions with testing and everything else. Clemson was not happy about that game whatsoever. Dabo Swinney expressed his thoughts on the game, and so it'd be interesting to see how that game's played out when Clemson plays Florida State probably next year. I don't think they're going to match up that game. I think that game's going to be canceled for 2020. So it'll be interesting to see how Florida State and Clemson play next year. Pitt's going to come in. They're playing Clemson. Trevor Lawrence is back. Etienne, he's back for Clemson. They are ranked right now #3. They're not too happy about being ranked #3, but they, just like everybody else in the top 4, they need the style points, and they need eye candy, and they need to have an impressive resume, because they're probably going to play Notre Dame again. And that's going to be a very questionable, because Notre Dame and Clemson, when they play each other, if Clemson wins that game, it's going to come down to style points, and it's going to come down to eye candy. It's going to come down to strength of schedule and everything else. And you can hear the thunder probably in the background. It's raining like crazy right now, and lightning. But getting back to Clemson, they need to just start dominating every single game. I mean, when I'm talking about dominating, I'm talking about just blowing the doors off of teams. That's what they need to start doing. So that way, in case they do win against Notre Dame, they can have an impressive resume. They can start having an impressive eye candy, impressive analytics, everything else to go with this. Pitt's going to keep up with them for a little bit. They're going to score 14 to 20 points. But Clemson is just going to blow the doors off. I mean, I'm expecting Clemson to have 40, 50 points. Dabo Swinney really doesn't like to run up the score too much. But because he knows he needs style points, and because he knows he needs eye candy and everything else to go with it, I expect him to put his foot on that gas pedal and to keep on going. Trevor Lawrence might not play the whole entire game, but DJ probably will come step in for Trevor. and that offense was just going to keep on scoring points and keep on rolling, even with DJ in there. So I look for the over in this game. Clemson has been winning a lot of the overs this year, and I've been doing pretty well with the overs with Clemson, and I'm not gonna go against them now. I really like the over. The over is only 54.5. I definitely see them covering the over with no problem. In fact, I'll put some pretty good money on this over too at 54.5, just like I will with the LSU Texas A&M game. All right, and our last game is Virginia at Florida State. We talked a little bit about Florida State not being able to play Clemson because of the questionable COVID and everything else. And Florida State, you know, they're just in, it's a dumpster fire right now. You know, they're just in a total rebuild and everything else. Virginia's been playing some pretty good ball. This is my dark horse pick. This game could go pretty much any way. Virginia is minus 8.5. But if you look at, I don't have my tablet with me. It's charging in the next room, and I wish I had it for the video's sake. But if you look at the games that that Virginia has been playing, they've been playing some pretty dominating football. I forgot what their record is right now, but you know, judging by what they have been playing and how they've been playing, they've been winning their games by anywhere from 10 to 20 points. Florida State's been struggling. They've been trying to find their identity, trying to figure out who's going to be playing next year, who's staying, who's leaving for the draft. It's just, Florida State's all over the place right now. And some of the players are going to be out with COVID still. So, and Virginia's looking very strong right now. They're peaking at the right time. Virginia's going to cover this with no problem, I don't believe. I'll take Virginia minus 8.5. I know it's my dark horse pick because this could pretty much go any which way it could. I would take Virginia all the way up to about minus 10, and then I wouldn't pick this game after minus 10. But Virginia minus 8.5, I feel very comfortable with it. I'm sorry I can't really go over too many of the stats because I don't have my tablet with me. But we're going to go ahead and take Virginia minus 8.5. I feel pretty comfortable about this. I think Virginia is going to be able to keep that cover that point spread. All right, so we have Virginia minus 8.5, and then for our money line picks is our bully picks is Florida, Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, and Cincinnati. Cincinnati is playing some really good football. I'm sorry I never picked them this season, but man, they're really impressive. They're going to play some really good football to the end, get those style points, and get that eye candy like I've been talking about this whole entire video. But those are going to be our money line picks. Those are going to be our straight out picks to win outright. It's going to be Florida, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, and Cincinnati. All those teams really need the eye candy and really need to dominate their games. But that's you know, and we're not going to get paid a lot for this. I get emails all the time. No sevens. Why do you always pick, you know, obvious winners? Because like I tell you guys all the time, this is just a money line pick. We're just going to put $10 down, and we're just going to collect another, you know, $5 or $10. You know, it's something small. You know, we're not going to put a lot of money. If you want to, you could put a lot of money. You could put $100 and collect $50 if you want to. These are pretty much guaranteed winners, unless something, you know, unless one of the teams just lose a wheel, you know, cruising to the end zone. You know, this is pretty much a sure thing guarantee. You know, you're just picking it so that way you can just make a quick few dollars. You know, would I put $100 on our bully picks? It depends, but you know, more than likely I'll put $10, $20. Just collect a few extra dollars, put some gas in the car for me going to the casino and making these picks, and then I'm on my way back. That's pretty much about it. I really don't throw anything out there. I had one of my emailers text me and says he put $1,000 one time. He collected an extra $300. He was really happy. I wouldn't never risk $1,000 on it, but hey, man, whatever makes you happy. All right, so to wrap it up, so we're going to go with all of our picks that we have. I want to say thank you to Craps Nation, Sleepy, and everybody for the donations. Like I said, the craps table is 99.9% complete. I'm just waiting for the rain to end in southeast Louisiana so that way I can shoot the video. I'm hoping to have it by Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, ready to go. I have a bunch of content that I've been working on for the Craps channel, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. I hope you guys like everything I present to you guys. And I just want to tell everybody thank you and have a blessed Thanksgiving. And And I'm right knocking on the door of 600 subscribers. I'm at 597. So thank you guys for sticking with me and being patient while I get everything in order. And I couldn't do it without you. You know, I really appreciate everything you guys do for me. So I'll talk to you next week. Hopefully we have a great week. Good luck out there in the casinos. Good luck with Thanksgiving. I hope you guys make lots of money if you're going out there doing sports bets or casinos. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.